shit me! Hello everybody. Yeah, I'm down the beach to start with because this storm front's moving through. Well, yeah, storm front, suppose you call it. Got like 50-mile-an-hour winds. It's getting pretty choppy. And still the beach is clean. Honestly, it's not depositing a thing this year. Anyway, I do have something to talk about today, and it's very random how this subject came up. And if you follow my Facebook, you're going to know where this started. I was posting something, and I made some comment about something sticking as well as a label onto a CD. You know what it used to be like, you buy CDs and they had these freaking labels on them for like a sale or something, and you could not get them off without almost destroying the CD case. Yeah, okay, WD-40 and cheek. You're missing the point. And then I started thinking, do you know, it won't be long before people don't know what CDs are, you know, like kids will be like, what's a CD? Because MP3 is everything now. And I was thinking, well, there's probably people already that don't know some of the things that we used as I was young. I mean, when I was young, we were still using record players. Yeah, cassette tapes that existed, but we were still using record players. I remember when we had Prodigy's Poison on vinyl. But then there was other things, mini discs. Do you remember mini discs? Probably not, but they were amazing because you could fit more time on them. They were like a recordable CD, if you like, and they looked cool because they looked like something from the future. If you've seen The Matrix, you'll see that the virus he sells at the beginning is sold on mini disc, and I still have my mini disc player and all its corrupting discs. That's the thing about mini disc; it was all right, but the little slidey thing always broke on them. And they corrupted all the time, and then they were just dead. Don't kill me. Oh god, it's the bag of doom! Voided! But then we got MP3 players, and that was the end of that. There's lots of technologies like this. When I first started using computers, there was 5.5-inch floppies, and then we went down to the 3.5. 3.5 is standard floppy, isn't it? Yeah. Shut up! I know there's going to be many floppy jokes in there. No, let's not repeat this one. Jesus Christ, he's an angry man. Only the people that know what I'm talking about there. Yeah, so you had your fucking floppies, and when you were at school, you were given a floppy disk to keep all your work on, and then they say to you, where's all your work? And you're like, well, the fucking disk corrupted. Oh, well, that's not an excuse. You give me a disc and no case and make me carry it around everywhere I go. Of course it's going to get corrupted. It's going to get corrupted by drinks and crisps and all sorts. Not licorice all sorts. I don't like licorice all sorts. I don't like licorice. Not a fan. And of course there, I'm just talking about like work-type PCs. But when I was young, yeah, there was entertainment consoles as such. Well, yeah, I mean, we had one when I was very young. I took tape drives. And I didn't really play that, I was too young to understand it. But yeah, I had fucking tape drives. I remember watching my brother and sister play it, beating up old men with a fishing rod. It's a legendary story in my family. No, not old men, it was a gnome, and they beat him to death with his fishing rod because they couldn't work out what the game wanted him to do. But the first games console I used a lot was an Amiga 600. If I remember rightly, Rise of the Robots had 13 floppy drives in the box. It was fucking ridiculous. And for some matches, and like, you know, choosing the arena and a couple of particular different like robots, you'd end up having to load, I think I once loaded 10 of the 13 in a row. And people complain these days about Xbox and PlayStation and shit like that and loading times. Fuck off! 10 floppy drives. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you see, of an older age, you're not so bothered about the differences between the Xbox and the Xbox One or the PlayStation and the Xbox, because basically you've known it so shit that anything is better than that. And fucking hell, it's like I used to play against my brother playing Rise of the Robots on the Amiga 600, and we had two controllers. We had like this gun type with like a little stick on the top and a trigger button, and it was quite quick, and you know, that was quite good for playing games. You could do up, down, diagonal, left, right, blah, 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 and get your moves. The other controller we had was a flight stick type stick, you know. Now trying to do these very, you know, up, down, diagonal, left, blah, 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 press button, because there's only one button. It was fucking impossible to use that stick. No wonder my brother beat me all the time. I never really thought about it. But then, of course, the PlayStation came out, and it was the most amazing thing in the world. And then the PS1 came out, you know, the Slim, if you remember when that came out. That was quite a few years later, actually. And PS2's Dreamcast. I had a Dreamcast. Dreamcast is a fucking awesome console. Well underrated for its abilities at the time. It does develop a problem where you have to put a game case under the back of it to make it tilt forwards to make it play right. But, you know, it's Sega. And the little Tamagotchi type controller thing was that you could put in the controllers was a bit of a weird idea. But it had House of the Dead on it, and you used the gun, and it was fucking awesome. Saturday mornings playing that, yeah. And the fishing one with the reel. That was cool. Of course, then there was the GameCube. I had that as well. And I don't know, it was nice to use. It was very different from any other console I'd used, particularly the controller with its weird, fat, slidey buttons that had to slide 3 inches before they actually did anything. But yeah, GameCube in there, and then it goes say Xbox came out, and it's all carried on since then. So yeah, I'm 29, I'm going back to some of the early consoles, not the early consoles like I'm sure some of you have played. Although retro gaming's become quite a big thing now. On the original Nintendo, that fucking square thing, I remember playing Mario on that. The most unergonomically designed controller in the world. Let me think, what shape should it be? Square! Well, rectangular. I know people love that controller, but I'm sorry, it never made sense to me. The Sega controller, which was around about the same time, if I remember rightly, was curved. Kind of looked like a bat wing, if I remember rightly. That's one of the things I've noticed about getting older. Oh, fucking hell! That wasn't good. Jesus! Yeah, of getting older is people being born in years you remember very well. Gee, okay, it's pretty windy now. Being born in years that you remember quite well, and they're now old enough to drink, for instance. I'm not joking, I am really having to just loosen up and let this bike ride the wind. It's like force 9. I would think about speeding up now, but I get caught out. And it should be alright now, alright. It's one of the pleasures of living on an island. Oh, now it's frigging raining. I don't have wet weather gear. Bitch. Yeah, people around my age. What are the technologies that we used to use that I am totally forgetting? I mean, shit. I mean, imagine, you go back to phones. I remember when we used pages. It's the most ridiculous thing. Although I did like pages, because pages were like a, hi, give me a call when you can. Whereas in phones are now like, fucking talk to me now. I'm the most important thing in the world because I called your number. Why aren't you answering? Oh, bitch tits. One of the biggest progressions, of course, has been memory capacity. Because like, I remember buying memory cards for 1 gigabyte a few years ago. It cost me 55 quid. And now they can get like 128 gig on a micro SD. How the fuck do you do that? I know there's bigger ones out there, I'm sure, but it's still freaking impressive when you come from the age of, was it a floppy drive, 3.5 megabytes? Or was it less than that? I don't remember, it's too frigging long ago. I do remember though using Apple Macs at school, or were they Acorns? No, I think they might have been Acorns. 5.5-inch floppy, and there was this weird shape game we used to play with like squares and spiky little people, and like balloons would come down and you'd have to pop them. It was like my first PC experience type thing. I'm sure there's people who remember that. Do you remember? It was all multicoloured, very blocky, although we remembered it as like amazing graphics. Yeah, that's another thing actually. Quick slight side note. You know, people argue about the graphics between the Xbox and the PlayStation. Fuck off, you don't know you were born. Go back to looking at the graphics on the PSX. Go back to looking at the graphics on fucking the Amiga 600. It was a piece of shit! But we thought it was great. Yeah, anyway, back to the kid game. Remember? Blocky colours, pop the balloons. Don't remember. Weren't fucking born for 10 years. Yeah, I know that feeling now. So yes, the people that are older than me, and I'm starting to understand what it's like now, and I'm sorry for the annoying shit that I must have done to some people in my life. not knowing. I wasn't here, I wasn't alive, I'm sorry. What was I supposed to know? It's a green machine called the P. I call that the P. So yeah, what do you remember? Catch you next time. What's this guy doing walking down the middle of the road? I'll teach him a fucking lesson. No, over the big one, you'll be fine. Turn. You're famous.